All right, everyone, it is time for episode 7, The Explanation Awakens. Your reader, of course. So you've reviewed a lot of things through these episodes, and you're learning how to craft an effective argumentative essay. The most critical part of an argumentative essay is your explanation. It has to be effective. Let's look at what is included in an effective explanation. First off, your explanation must explain the connection between your evidence, your reasons, and your thesis. You can't do this in just a few words. Your explanation is the part of your essay where you're going to demonstrate your original analysis of the evidence. These are your ideas. A very important point with an explanation is that you should not assume your reader knows how the evidence connects to the thesis, even if it is really obvious to you. And finally, don't just say the evidence proves the thesis. You have to explain how. You should never simply write, "This evidence proves my thesis," and leave it at that. You must explain how or why it proves your thesis. Before we look at an example of how to write a good explanation, let's review what's included in a good body paragraph. You have to have your topic sentence. The first sentence of each body paragraph should be one of the reasons you gave in your introduction. You should always have at least 2 reasons in your introduction. Those reasons provide the topics for each of your 2 body paragraphs. The topic sentence will lead into your evidence. This is paraphrased or quoted information from reliable sources that support your topic sentence. And finally, your body paragraphs need to have an explanation. This is the meat of your body paragraphs, the meat of your essay. It explains to the reader the connection between your evidence and your thesis, so that readers have a clear understanding of how and why your evidence proves the point that you're trying to make. So let's look at an example. Let's say we're writing an essay, and we have written the thesis, "Dogs are more valuable than cats because they provide important services and they understand humans better." This is a strong thesis for an argumentative essay because it takes a stand that dogs are more valuable than cats, and it gives 2 reasons. The first reason, that they provide important services, and the second reason is that they understand humans better. Let's look at how we would structure our first body paragraph. Our topic sentence, the first sentence of our body paragraph, is going to reflect our first reason. Our first reason was that dogs provide important services. Now, we did a lot of research and we found this good evidence. According to the LA Times, 9 service dogs provided important help in the rescue mission during the recent mudslides in California. So, how do we explain this evidence? This shows that dogs are more valuable than cats. Wrong! We never just say that our evidence shows our thesis. Remember, we have to explain how or why. This is the part of the essay where you show off your critical thinking skills. Let's look at this other explanation. The dogs are helping to save human lives, which is a very important service. You never read about a cat helping to save someone's life. They might make nice pets, but they don't provide a valuable service like search and rescue. Let's look at the portion highlighted in yellow. This part of my explanation connects my evidence back to my topic sentence, which is my first reason of my thesis. My first reason was that dogs provide important services. That reason became my topic sentence. My evidence supports that reason. And then in my explanation, I explained that saving human lives is a very important service. But then I also need to tie this back to my thesis. Why is providing this very important service so valuable? And why does it make dogs more valuable than cats? Well, cats might make nice pets, but they don't provide a valuable service like search and rescue. The blue highlighted part shows how I explain how my evidence relates back to my thesis. So in my explanation, I have shown how my evidence supports my reason and how that reason supports my thesis. I've also demonstrated my ability to think critically, and I've used my own words to explain. This skill takes practice. Let's look at one more example. Here's another thesis. All kids should participate in team sports because team sports teach kids how to work together and handle losing. I have my claim in my thesis, all kids should participate in team sports. I've stated my opinion. I have two reasons. My first reason is because team sports teach kids how to work together. My second reason is that team sports teach kids how to handle losing. So for my first body paragraph, my topic sentence is going to be, you got it, that first reason. Team sports teach kids how to work together. So I need a piece of evidence that helps prove and support this topic. I found this evidence. Kit McGroarty writes that players learn how to put aside their differences and cooperate for the good of the team. Here's an example of an explanation. This shows that kids learn how to work together on teams. Wrong. That is just a simple restatement of the obvious. It does not demonstrate any sort of critical thinking skills. Let's see a good explanation. Cooperation is an important life skill that applies to lots of different areas in life. You have to cooperate with your teachers to do well in school, and someday you will have to cooperate with your boss to do your job well. All kids can benefit from gaining this skill. So in my explanation, where it is highlighted yellow, I have connected my evidence back to my topic sentence. Cooperation is an important life skill that applies to a lot of areas in life. Cooperation is working together. I give an example. Examples are a great way to show your critical thinking. I give an example of how cooperation helps kids do better in the future. And finally, I've connected it all back to my thesis by saying all kids can benefit from gaining this skill. My thesis is all kids should participate in team sports. This evidence shows that all kids can participate from gaining the skill of cooperation. My explanation connects my evidence to my reason and to my thesis, and it is demonstrating my critical thinking skills. This can seem really overwhelming, but once you practice it a few times, it's going to become second nature because all of you have a good brain and all of you are good thinkers. So we know you're capable of doing it. All right, it's practice time. Like Poe, I hope you are now confident in your abilities to awaken the evidence for your readers.